There comes a moment in every person's life when they get tired of feeling small, tired of pretending everything's fine while they're breaking inside, tired of holding their dreams hostage because fear keeps whispering, you can't. Maybe you've been through losses, disappointments, rejections. Maybe life pushed you so hard that you started believing you weren't strong enough. But let me tell you something tonight, you are not weak. You were never weak. Just tried to convince you to forget your power. This right here, right now, is your turning point because 2026 is not just another year, it's your comeback season. No more excuses, no more doubt, no more weakness. This moment forward, you rise, you fight, you build, you become everything that your past tried to destroy. And before this speech ends, you will feel something inside you reignite, that fire, that hunger, that belief, because I promise you 2026 is your year to rise. You know, before we talk about rising, we have to get brutally honest about where we've been because you can't rise if you're still chained to the weight of your past. Some of you came into this new year carrying the same pain, the same disappointments, the same silent battles you thought you left behind. You've been walking with a smile on your face, but inside you're exhausted. You're tired of pretending, tired of fighting alone. You tell yourself, I'm fine, but deep down, you know you're not. And that's okay. That's real. Because let me tell you something, strength doesn't come from pretending that nothing hurts. It comes from having the courage to face what does hurt and saying, I will not let this break me anymore. See, people think weakness means crying, falling apart, admitting you're lost. But weakness isn't that. Weakness is refusing to move forward because of what happened. Weakness is letting the past steal your power today. And I know some of you have been through storms you never deserved. Betrayals, losses, failures, people walking away when you needed them most. You kept asking, why me? But what if the question isn't, why me? What if the real question is, what now? Because the truth is, the pain you went through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken something greater inside you. Every single challenge, every tear, every lonely night, it shaped you. It built a fire in you that most people will never understand. That fire is still there. You just forgot how bright it can burn. I want you to look at your past not as a prison, but as a classroom. Everything that broke you taught you something. Every mistake gave you a lesson that no book, no video, no speech could ever give. Some of you are still angry at yourself for the decisions you made years ago, for trusting the wrong people, for giving up too soon, for not believing in yourself earlier. But hear me, self-blame is a chain. You can't climb if you're still chained to regret. You have to forgive yourself for not knowing better back then because you know better now. That's growth. That's progress. And progress, no matter how small, is power. You look at your past through the eyes of wisdom. Instead of pain, everything changes. The same moment that once broke you becomes the same moment that built your strength. You stop saying, why did this happen to me? And start saying, thank you for what it taught me. And listen, I'm not saying to forget your past. I'm saying don't live there. Don't unpack and build a house inside your old story. The past is a place to visit for wisdom, not a place to stay in pain. People who spend years trying to rewrite the past in their minds, wishing they could change something that's already written. But you can't change what happened. You can only decide what it means to you. You can take the same event that once made you bitter and let it make you better. The power has always been yours. You see, there are two kinds of people in this world, those who let their past define them and those who use their past to refine them. 2026, this is the year you stop living as a prisoner of your history and start living as the author of your destiny. Think about it. Every great comeback story started with a breakdown. Every strong person you admire was once at a point where they almost gave up. The only difference, they decided to rise again. They made a choice. And that's what I'm asking you to do right now. Make that choice. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because the longer you wait, the heavier the past becomes. Let go of what didn't work. Release the guilt. Stop replaying those old scenes in your head. You can't start a new chapter if you're still rerating the last one. Not the same person who went through that pain. You've grown. You've evolved. You've earned the right to move forward. This moment, this very second, can be your line in the sand. The moment where you decide that the story changes here. You've been through enough. You've learned enough. Now it's time to live enough. You owe it to the person you're becoming to stop punishing the person you once were. You owe it to your future to stop feeding your fears with yesterday's mistakes. Because when you finally accept your past, when you stop running from it, stop fighting it, stop letting it control you, that's when real freedom begins. That's when your energy returns. That's when your focus sharpens. That's when your life starts moving again. And when that happens, something inside you clicks. That quiet, unshakable voice that says, I'm done being the victim. I'm done being small. I'm ready to rise. So before we go any further, I want you to make a promise, not to me, but to yourself. Promise that from this moment on, you will no longer let your past define your worth or limit your future. Because no matter what you've been through, no matter how many times you've fallen, the fact that you're still here, listening, breathing, ready, means the story isn't over. The story is just beginning. And this time you're at it with strength. You know, we live in a world that keeps telling us strength means never showing weakness. That if you fall, you're failing. That if you struggle, something's wrong with you. But that's not real strength. That's ego. That's the illusion that keeps people trapped, pretending to have it all together, while inside they're breaking. Real strength isn't about how loud you roar when things are good. It's about how quietly you rise when everything falls apart. It's standing in the middle of chaos, fear, and confusion, and still saying, I'm not done yet. You see, most people think strength is about muscles, confidence, power, but real strength is emotional endurance. It's mental resilience. It's the ability to keep moving when the world says stop. It's when your mind says, I can't, but your heart whispers, try again. And that whisper, that's everything. That whisper is the voice of your soul reminding you who you really are, because there's a version of you deep inside that doesn't quit. You've felt it before, that fire, that unstoppable feeling when you know you're meant for more. Life happens, right? You fall, you fail, you lose people, you make mistakes, and that fire starts to fade. You start doubting yourself. You start believing that maybe you're not strong enough. Maybe you missed your chance. Maybe life just doesn't work out for people like you. But listen to me, that's a lie. You are stronger than the version of you that went through all that. You just forgot how powerful you are. Strength isn't about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about walking through the pain with your head high. It's about saying, yes, I'm hurting, but I'm still here. You don't build strength by avoiding the storm. You build it by walking straight through it and realizing it couldn't destroy you. You've got to redefine what it means to be strong. Strong people cry. Strong people get scared. Strong people doubt themselves, but strong people don't stay there. They don't let fear own them. They feel it, face it, and fight through it anyway. You can't grow in comfort. You can't rise if you're always safe. Every time you fall and every time you've been rejected, every time you've been pushed to your knees, those moments weren't your breaking points. They were your building points. You were being shaped for something bigger. I've seen people go through the hardest chapters of their lives. Heartbreak, failure, loss, and still rise stronger, wiser, more compassionate. Why? Because pain forced them to find parts of themselves they didn't know existed. When life stripped them down to nothing, they found their real power. Sometimes you need to lose what you thought made you strong, the titles, the people, the comfort, so you can discover the strength that was already inside you, the kind no one can take away. So stop thinking that being strong means being perfect. Perfection is a mask, and masks crack under pressure. Real strength is raw. It's messy. It's honest. It's falling 7 times and standing up 8. It's saying, I'm scared. I'm going anyway. And listen, strength isn't proven when life is easy. It's proven when everything falls apart and you still show up. When you still get out of bed, still chase the dream, still love again, still believe again. That's strength. That's courage. That's growth. You want 2026 to be your year to rise. Then stop trying to look strong and start being strong. Stop performing for people. Stop comparing your pain to someone else's highlight reel. Your journey is yours. Your battles are shaping you for something they can't see. Every person you admire today was once in the middle of their own storm, questioning everything. But they kept showing up. They kept fighting. That's all you need to do. Keep showing up. And sometimes that means taking one small step when you don't know what's next. Sometimes it means forgiving someone who hurt you. Sometimes it means looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not giving up. When you fall, don't see it as failure. See it as feedback. Every time you fall, you learn something new about your limits, your resilience, your strength. Doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. It means you're trying. And that's more than most people ever do. The difference between people who rise and people who stay down isn't talent, luck, intelligence. It's their mindset. The ones who rise see every fall as an invitation to grow. They refuse to let the pain define them. They look at life and say, you hit me hard, but I'm still standing, and that's enough. So if you're in a season of falling, if it feels like life keeps knocking you down, remember this, you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to move mountains today. Just take one step. Just refuse to stay down. Because one small decision to rise can change everything. That's what 2026 is about. Not perfection, not pretending, but progress. Every day you rise, even a little, you're rewriting your story. You're proving that strength isn't about never falling. It's about never giving up on yourself when you do. And when that moment comes, when you rise again after everything tried to break you, you'll realize you were never weak. Being forged. There's something powerful that happens the moment you stop letting your emotions run your life and start taking control of your decisions. Because let's be honest, emotions are like waves. They rise, they crash, they change with the wind. One day you wake up inspired, unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. And the next day you wake up tired, unmotivated, questioning everything. The problem isn't the emotion. The problem is when you let that emotion decide your action. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not exciting. It doesn't post well on social media. But it's what separates the people who dream from the people who achieve. Motivation feels good for a moment. Discipline builds empires. Motivation whispers, I'll do it when I feel ready. Discipline says, I'll do it whether I feel ready or not. You see, your emotions will always try to protect you from discomfort. That's their job. When things get hard, your mind says, let's rest, let's slow down, let's stop. It's not evil, it's survival. But survival mode will never get you to your destiny. Discipline will. Because discipline doesn't negotiate with excuses. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It moves even when it hurts. The people who rise in this world aren't the ones who feel inspired every day, the ones who learned how to act without needing to feel inspired. They built routines. They made commitments. They learned how to move forward when their mind said, stay comfortable. And here's the truth, comfort is the enemy of growth. Every time you give in to comfort, you delay your future. Every time you choose discipline, you take one step closer to the life you want. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. You wait for the perfect mood, the perfect timing, the perfect plan. But there's no such thing as perfect timing. There's just now. The people who win are the ones who take imperfect action right now. You can't control the weather, the economy, or how people treat you, but you can always control how you respond. And that's where your power is, in your response. Every day you have two choices: to let your emotions dictate your direction or to let your purpose drive your behavior. One path gives you temporary comfort, the other gives you lasting transformation. When you wake up in the morning, your brain will always give you reason to delay, to stay safe, to take it easy. But discipline means you don't wait for permission. You take the first step before your emotions catch up. You move and then the feeling follows. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. Here's something most people never realize. Discipline is freedom. It's not a cage. It's the key that unlocks everything you want. When you live by discipline, you gain control over your life. You stop being a slave to mood swings, distractions, laziness. You become someone who does what they say they'll do. And that kind of self-trust, that's rare. That's power. There are days when you won't feel strong, when the goals feel too far, when your energy's low and your mind's heavy. Those days, remember this, you don't have to feel amazing to move forward. You just have to move. The smallest step with discipline is stronger than the biggest dream with hesitation. Every breakthrough starts with a small, consistent action that nobody sees. While others sleep, you work. While others wait, you move. That's how transformation happens. Not in loud moments of motivation, in quiet moments of commitment. And discipline doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It's not punishment. It's an act of love. It's saying, I care enough about my future to do what's right, what's easy. You show yourself respect by following through. You build confidence every time you keep a promise to yourself. That's where real self-belief comes from, not from hype, not from affirmations, from doing the work even when no one's watching. If you want 2026 to be your year to rise, then stop asking yourself, do I feel like it? And start asking, what needs to be done? Because feelings fade, but results remain. The discipline you build this year will outlast every burst of emotion. You have to start seeing your days as opportunities, not obligations. Every morning you wake up, you're being given another chance to prove to yourself who you really are. Wasted scrolling, complaining, or waiting for motivation. Create your own momentum. Start before you're ready. Stay when it's hard. Finish when it's uncomfortable. The truth is, you don't need more motivation. You need more standards. Raise them. Set the bar higher for yourself. Stop accepting average effort and calling it trying. You're not here to try. You're here to transform, and transformation demands consistency. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. You'll have off days. You'll have moments of doubt. But discipline means showing up anyway. You show up for your goals, your growth, your future self, because that version of you deserves it. And one day, you'll look back and realize all those days you pushed yourself, all those moments when you chose effort over excuse, they built you. They shaped your character. They made you unshakable. So from now on, don't wait to feel ready. Act ready, because when you do, life starts to respond. You'll find your strength, your rhythm, your power again. And when you do, everything changes. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to become. There comes a time when you have to take a hard, honest look at what's holding you back and realize that sometimes it's not the world around you, it's the world you've built within you. The routines, the habits, the people, the distractions. Weakness doesn't always show up as fear or failure. Sometimes it hides inside comfort, in the little things you keep doing, even though you know they're slowing you down. You can't rise while staying loyal to the same habits that kept you stuck. You can't step into the next level of your life if you're still surrounded by things and people that belong to your last chapter. If you truly want 2026 to be your year to rise, you have to clean your environment mentally, emotionally, physically, because your life will always reflect the standards you accept. There are people right now who want to see you do well, just not better than them. There are habits that make you feel good for a moment, but rob you of power in the long run. There are routines that keep you busy, but not productive. You've got to wake up and say, no more wasting time in circles that don't feed your purpose. No more giving energy to conversations that drain your focus. No more tolerating anything that weakens your fire. You become what you surround yourself with. If you hang around people who complain, you'll find reasons to complain. If you stay around people who play small, you'll start shrinking to fit in. If you spend time with people who demand the best of you, who challenge you, who remind you of your potential when you forget it, that energy transforms you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your growth is not to add more, To subtract, remove the noise, detach from drama, distance yourself from people who love your weakness more than your strength. The truth is, some people like you better when you're broken because it makes them feel better about staying the same. Don't let their comfort become your cage. And listen, letting go doesn't mean hate. It doesn't mean bitterness. It means understanding that not everyone is meant to walk with you to the next level. Some people are part of your story, not your destination. Be grateful for what they taught you, but be brave enough to keep moving forward. Growth requires separation. You can't rise if you're constantly surrounded by distractions disguised as entertainment or comfort disguised as rest. You've got to become ruthless with your time. Start protecting your focus like it's gold, because it is. What you give your attention to shapes your future. Every minute you waste on something that doesn't move you forward is a minute stolen from your purpose. Weak habits feel harmless at first. The late nights, the mindless scrolling, I'll do it tomorrow. But those small moments of weakness compound into a lifetime of regret. And the scariest part, most people never realize how much they've lost until it's too late. Don't let that be you. Make the decision now to break the cycle. When you choose to rise, you're going to lose some people. You'll outgrow conversations, environments, and habits. And that's okay. Growth is lonely at first, but peaceful later. You'll trade the chaos of fitting in for the calm of standing tall. You'll start noticing your energy changing, because when you stop feeding what drains you, you start fueling what drives you. There's strength in saying no. No to gossip, to procrastination, no to anyone or anything that pulls you back into weakness. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to something that does. That's power. And I know it's not easy. It's hard to walk away from people who've been part of your world, even if that world is keeping you small. It's hard to break habits that have been your comfort for years. But easy choices make life harder, and hard choices make life easier. You have to decide what you're willing to suffer for, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. If you want to step into your greatness, start auditing your life. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they building you up or tearing you down? Look at how you spend your mornings. Are you preparing for success or reacting to chaos? Look at your habits. Are they moving you closer to your purpose or pulling you further away? Because if you don't take control of your environment will take control of you. You are not weak. You've just been distracted. Once you reclaim your focus, everything changes. You start walking with clarity. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop settling. You begin to attract better, do better, and become better. Because energy attracts energy. And when you raise your vibration, the right people, opportunities, and results start to appear. The truth is your future depends on what you're willing to let go of. You can't rise carrying everything with you. You've got to release what no longer fits the person you're becoming. That means shedding habits, friendships, and environments that no longer align with your vision. This is your season to level up. And that means making hard decisions that others won't understand, but you're not here to be understood. You're here to evolve. You're here to step into your strength, to claim your purpose, to finally live the life you've been pretending to be okay without. So from this moment forward, stop feeding your weakness, stop watering dead plants, stop keeping company with comfort. Because the truth is, you already know what's holding you back. The second you decide to release it, that's the moment you rise. Your next level begins the moment you stop protecting your old one. There's a version of you that this world hasn't met yet. A stronger, sharper, more focused version. To become that person, you have to make a decision to stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a warrior. Because life is not going to hand you peace, success, or fulfillment. You have to fight for it. Not with anger, but with purpose. Resilience with a mindset that refuses to break no matter how heavy the pressure gets. A warrior doesn't wait for things to get easier. A warrior gets stronger. They train their mind to see problems as challenges, not punishment. They don't say, is this happening to me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift, that single question, changes everything. Because the truth is, life will never stop testing you. It will hit you with disappointments, losses, rejections, delays, and moments that make you doubt everything. But the warrior inside you knows those tests aren't there to destroy you. They're there to prepare you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to sharpen your spirit. Think about it. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. You can't build mental muscle in comfort. You build it when you're pushed to your limits and choose to push back. The world may throw you into chaos, but the warrior mindset says, let's go. I was built for this. You have to stop expecting the world to get easier and start expecting yourself to get better. That's the difference between the ones who rise and the ones who crumble. The ones who rise don't pray for fewer problems. They train for more strength. They understand that growth isn't supposed to feel comfortable. It's supposed to stretch you, challenge you, make you question yourself, and then rebuild you into someone who no longer flinches when life gets hard. And here's the thing. A warrior mindset isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about discipline. It's about controlling your inner world no matter what's happening in your outer world. You can't control everything around you, but you can always control how you respond. That's your power. You learn to master your emotions. Instead of letting them master you, you become unstoppable. Most people crumble because that they've trained their body, but not their mind. They can handle work, traffic, money, stress, but the moment life hits them emotionally, they fall apart. A warrior trains for that. A warrior builds emotional endurance. You've got to practice staying calm under pressure. You've got to remind yourself, this storm is not the end of me, it's the place where I grow. Every time something doesn't go your way, you have a choice to react or to rise. Reacting gives away your power. Rising reclaims it. A warrior knows how to breathe through the chaos, how to find clarity when the world is screaming confusion. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to stay centered long enough to find them. You've got to stop letting fear run the show. Fear will always be there. It whispers before every decision, before every risk, before every dream. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. You can feel fear and still take action. You can feel doubt and still take the next step. The warrior mindset doesn't wait for confidence. It builds confidence through movement. And let's talk about that movement. Because a warrior never stays still in self-pity. They act, they move, adapt. You can't win a battle standing still. Think about how hard it is. You move with purpose. Even if the path isn't clear, you take one step, then another, because movement creates momentum and momentum creates belief. When you start thinking like a warrior, you stop making excuses. You stop saying, I'll do it when it feels right. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or luck. Warriors don't wait for conditions, they create them. They take what they have where they are, turn it into something powerful. They don't complain about the storm. They learn to dance in the rain. And here's something you need to understand. A warrior mindset isn't built in one moment of motivation. It's built every day in the small moments when no one's watching. It's built when you keep your promises to yourself, when you show up tired, when you do the work even when you don't feel like it. Those little moments of discipline add up. They become armor. You'll start noticing it. The same situation that used to break you no longer have power over you. The same words that once hurt now bounce off you. The same failures that once crushed your confidence now fuel your hunger. That's what mental strength does. It changes how you see the world. You stop asking for things to be easy and start being thankful for the challenges that shaped you. And yes, it's going to hurt sometimes. You're going to feel lonely, misunderstood. Those are the exact moments that separate warriors from worriers. The warrior waits for the pain to stop. The warrior uses the pain as fuel. They take every scar and turn it into armor. Every failure becomes wisdom. Every battle becomes proof that they can't be broken. So if life's been testing you, good. That means you're in training. That means something powerful is being built inside you. The question is, are you going to keep shrinking? Are you going to rise and meet your potential head on? Stop saying, I wish life were easier. Start saying, I'm going to get stronger. Stop running from the fire. Walk through it. Because when you come out on the other side, you'll realize you're not the same person anymore. You'll see it in your eyes, your voice, your energy. You'll carry a quiet power that doesn't need to prove anything. Because you've earned it. That's what this year is about, not waiting for strength to appear, but building it every single day. Because no matter what happens, no matter who walks away, no matter how many times you fall, the warrior inside you knows one truth that can't be broken. You were never fighting to survive, you were fighting to rise. There comes a moment in every life when you realize you're not here just to survive, you're here to live, to build, to lead, to become something greater than your circumstances. That's what this moment, this year, this season is all about. 2026 isn't just a number on a calendar. It's an invitation, a call, a wake-up moment that says it's your time now, not tomorrow, not next month, now. Because if not now, when? You've been through the struggle. You've felt the weight of doubt, of loss, of disappointment. You've been through nights that made you question if the fight was worth it. But you're still here. And that means something. That means life isn't done with you yet. There's still more inside you to give, more strength, more wisdom, more light. And this year, it's time to let it all out. You see, every person alive has potential. Potential means nothing without purpose. You can have talent, dreams, ideas. But if you don't know why you're doing it, you'll always fall back into the same cycles of hesitation. Purpose gives pain meaning. Purpose gives you a reason to get up when you've been knocked down. Purpose turns an ordinary life into a legacy. You've got to ask yourself, what am I living for? What do I want this year to stand for? Because if you don't decide that, life will decide it for you. And life doesn't reward those who drift. It rewards those who direct. The moment you get clear about your purpose, everything changes. Your focus sharpens. Your distractions lose power. You stop chasing what doesn't matter and start building what does. This year is not about being busy. It's about being intentional. You don't need 1,000 goals. You need one powerful vision that pulls you forward. The kind of vision that wakes you up with energy and keeps you hungry when others are tired. When you know your why, the how always finds its way. There's a version of you that this world desperately needs. The one who leads with strength and conviction. The one who doesn't hide behind fear or excuses. The one who knows that playing small serves no one. It's time to stop asking for permission to shine. You don't need it. You were born to stand out. You were born to make an impact. Impact doesn't come from words. It comes from alignment. It comes from living in a way where your actions match your truth, where what you say, what you do, and who you are all move in the same direction. When you live like that, You stop forcing results. They start finding you because purpose has a frequency. When you're aligned with it, the right opportunities, the right people, and the right timing all begin to appear. Now, let's be real. Rising with purpose won't always be easy. There will be resistance. You'll be misunderstood. You'll lose people who were comfortable with your smaller version. That's part of the process. Purpose will always require sacrifice. We'll ask you to give up comfort for calling, popularity for authenticity, approval for peace. But in return, it gives you something so much greater, fulfillment, the kind that doesn't fade when life gets hard. When you rise with purpose, you start seeing obstacles differently. What once looked like failure now looks like feedback. What once felt like rejection becomes redirection. Every challenge becomes part of your preparation. Because when you're walking in purpose, even your pain works for you. Every scar becomes a story. Every struggle becomes a source of strength. And purpose isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you give. It's about leaving a mark, lifting others as you rise, using your voice, your time, your energy to make someone else's journey a little lighter. True power isn't about control. It's about contribution. You rise not to prove something, but to serve something. This is where greatness is born, in the quiet decision that says, I'm done living on autopilot. I'm done settling for average. I'm ready to live with fire again. That's how you shift from surviving to leading, from drifting to driving, wishing to doing. You've spent too many years doubting your worth, dimming your light, apologizing for your ambition. But this is the year that ends. 2026 is the year you step out of hesitation and into purpose. The year you stop waiting for motivation and start creating momentum. The year you stop chasing validation and start building legacy. So if you're listening right now wondering if it's too late, it's not. If you're wondering if you're strong enough, you are. If you're wondering if this year could really be different, it can. Because the difference isn't out there. It's in you. It's in your decision to rise, to act, to believe that your life was meant for something extraordinary. You don't need the world to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself enough to start. And once you start, once you move with purpose, the universe begins to respond. Doors open, paths appear, the impossible becomes possible, not because everything changed, but because you did. So when you walk out of this moment, don't just carry words, carry conviction. Live like this year matters, like your dreams are waiting for you to catch up. Love like you've got nothing to lose, give like you've already won, and rise like the world depends on it, because maybe in some way it does. 2026 isn't coming to change your life. You are.